Tenderloin is a district in the city of San Francisco. This is the roughest and toughest. It's about 50 city blocks, and it has 586 high-rise buildings, 37,000 people live in there, roughly 7,000 homeless population that come through there daily. We have 2 major crimes every hour. It's the highest crime in the city of San Francisco.
A local man says he's staying put in front of City Hall as he stages a hunger strike to protest, as he describes, the unacceptable conditions of the Tenderloin district.
Wong says that he is calling on the city to make sweeping changes across the impoverished community that he says has been neglected for years.
City officials say that they have received a list of demands and that they continue to have internal discussions about the situation.
Coming soon, coming soon. Always love seeing that. Hey, everybody. It's our Friday live update. This is 33 Days, a film about Roger Huang, a true story about one man's pursuit of justice in the heart of San Francisco. My name is Tony Gapastione, and I'm one of the producers.
Hey, guys. I'm Ed Portillo. This is one of the producers as well, and we're excited to be here. Got a lot to update you with.
So what do you want to jump in first with, Ed? What are you excited about? What's going on in your world as you're processing the last week? Actually, 2 weeks, because we missed last week of an update because we were on a phone call doing some work here.
That's really one of the biggest updates is that we have been in conversations with distributors, domestic and international. We talked to a post-production house, Kappa Studios, based out of Burbank. We've had a lot of conversations about interest in the film, and it all came from the ICVM concert conference that we went to. And maybe we can just kind of start off talking about that because, Tony, you've been to marketplaces. So you've been to Sundance, you've been to AFM. I wonder if you can kind of talk through the differences between AFM, Sundance, and what we went to last week. What was unique about what we went to, or what was unique about the AFM versus something that's not necessarily has the stature of a Sundance or something, but maybe can still be effective?
Well, I think my feedback would be the interesting part about making a movie is, yeah, you want to tell a good story. It has to be artsy and marketable. And that market piece really comes down to the audience. And so anytime you're making a film, it's just really interesting for the filmmaker to make sure they're focused on who's going to watch the film. Where is your target? This is a business, it's show and it's business. So the whole conference that we went to on this webinar was really focused on the market of people who call themselves Christians, are part of the community of faith, find that their Christianity and expression of that piece of their life is very important, and they want content that aligns with that. And there's obviously a lot of different expressions. No human being, you can't lump everybody into one lump sum. But this conference was focused on, films, TV, media that really gives, satisfies people who have a certain kind of prayer view of what they want to watch and what their intake level can tolerate. Like some people just don't want to watch certain shows or certain films that have certain kind of subject matters or language. So I felt like I took away, this conference showed me we really have a unique niche here. We talk a lot about our demographic is we want to reach people, in 18 to 40 something, right? We think this is a PG-13-ish story because the Tenderloin is probably rated R part of the city, but it also has a faith element and an Asian protagonist. So we're looking at who would watch this film. And so the thing I took away from this is there is support from people of faith who want to see a film like this get out there. And there's also important distribution methods that we need to be looking at. So how and who we partner with to get the film seen, whether it's in theaters, who knows if that ever comes back, or streaming or whatever. So that's kind of the thing I took away from this is we really have a product that people of faith are interested to partner with.
Yeah, and keep in mind too that we also had a domestic distributor who has a relationship with a large international distributor, so they have the backing, and a foreign distributor who can potentially distribute it to Indonesia, Singapore, and Malaysia without shooting a single frame. So there is strength in the story. There is strength in the team. There is strength in kind of how we're pitching. One of the things that Tony participated in was a pitch-a-thon, and because of that, a lot of doors were open. So it's been a good couple of weeks. Needless to say, we wanted to be here last week, but again, we were kind of having these updates and these meetings, and things are kind of falling into place in certain aspects, which is great.
Right on. Yeah, I want to also just kind of let you know, I just dropped a podcast. I have this podcast called the Holy Cannoli Podcast, and I dropped an episode that features Roger. So we know there's all different types of ways that people find out about what we're doing. And some people are going, wait, this is a book, this is a film, this is an organization, this is a real life person. Yes, 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 all of the above. So maybe you don't have time to read the book. Maybe you're not a book reader, but maybe you can just click on a link and listen to me and Roger talk for an hour about his journey, basically about why we're making this film and why it's so cinematic and why the beats of his life. I mean, the fact that this is a man who came out of an abusive relationship. His father, and by the way, it's a little triggering, so someone who has some PTSD around domestic abuse or any kind of abuse, this is a real story of a man who suffered and weathered and persevered under real extreme violence from the hand of his own father. Tried to escape it by coming to San Francisco and working in the hotel industry, and then stumbled upon 1 square mile of San Francisco in which many people were in the same position. In fact, his whole inciting incident, which is a kind of a screenwriting term about what projected him into his journey, was the fact that he saw a boy being beat up and he turned the other direction. He felt haunted by it. In fact, he says he heard the voice of God tell him, they're all the same to me. What would you do if that was your son or your child? They're all the same to me. They're all the same to me. Go do something about it. So Roger and I talked. I'll put the link if you're watching here on our Facebook page. You can just look below and you'll see the link to the podcast, or it's on Spotify or Google Play or iTunes. Just look it up. And I really encourage you to check it out. And hopefully that incentivizes you to consider becoming a partner with us. We have a couple more months left of our WeFunder fundraising phase. And Ed, if you want to talk a little bit about that, I'll pull that up so people can see we are still going strong, $100 minimum investment. But Ed, tell a little bit about what people can do to get involved there.
Yeah, we actually are 71% away from our goal of reaching 100,000. We're not going to stop there. Once we reach 100,000, we want to push get as much as we can. If we can pass 1 million, we can go into production. If we get into 2.5 million, then that's really the goal, ultimate goal that we'd like to make the movie that we know this story deserves with all the resources that we can get. So it's wefunder.com/33 days, and it has all the information, basically our whole pitch. In fact, we do have an updated pitch deck. That's our story on a little PDF form. You can kind of go check it out. We're going to upload it pretty soon onto the WeFunder. It's all updated on all the latest information, including a timeline on what we're thinking, what we're projecting for us to be into production next year, and hopefully releasing this in 2022. So that's the goal that we're looking for. And one quick thing on that, as well as the pitch deck being new, we were up in San Francisco this past weekend shooting a new promotional video that kind of, if you go to our site, you'll see, and you saw what it was, a little glimpse of it when we started our update. We're going to do a new updated video with Roger, so you kind of hear his voice, you kind of see the TL, the tenderloin. This new video will go into more of Roger's story and the hunger strike, and you see Roger and Maite talk a little bit about that. So that's going to be coming up pretty soon. We'll probably release it in early January, so look out for that.
Right on. I want to say a huge thank you to Megan Thill. This is a great example of someone who believes in us and partners to help get the word out. Maybe you can be doing the same thing. There are so many different ways that people can partner with us. And let me show you one way that somebody, just like anybody else, we're all ordinary people who believe we can make a difference. So Megan was in a screenwriting class of mine. And then, I was talking about the film. It turns out she had volunteered herself with City Impact. So she knew of Roger. And then she just said, hey, is there anything I can do to help? And so we got on the phone with her, me and Ed. And so you can see on her own Instagram, she even put the wefunder.com/33 days in her profile. She posted the podcast that I just dropped. She put our 1-minute trailer, see that in the third panel there. And then she's also reaching out to people. She's reaching out to friends and family and churches. And she's been responsible for a number of people doing a minimum investment of $100. So anybody can be a part of this, okay? There are only a few more weeks left here in 2020, and we know that times are tough, but little by little, every investment will help us get over the line. So if you find a way to join us, you would like to do something even personal, like a Zoom call with all of us, or even with Roger, we could arrange that. We are looking for people who really see the power and the benefit of a film creating and impacting culture. And this story especially is like all of us. We all can do something to impact the world and to make it a better place. So we really hope that you'll join us, and go to 33daysfilm.com to do that now. Even just share this, this Facebook link on your own personal social media. That would be really awesome. Ed, anything else before we leave?
Oh, we just want to say thank you to Megan. Thank you for the supporters so far. There's been a handful of people that we know, a handful of people that we don't know. And so we really, from the bottom of our hearts, appreciate everyone supporting and chipping in. And also, there will be another podcast. I have a friend of mine, actually a former youth pastor, who is going to invite Roger and I into a podcast in January. He's a pastor at Gateway Austin Church. So we really appreciate Eric Bryant for inviting us on. And hopefully we'll line up some more things as time progresses and we get closer to the end date of the WeFunder, because we're going to do everything we can really to get this thing to the finish line, because we've come a long way, right, Tony? We've come a long way. And here we are at a really great point in the film's life. And so we're ready to go for 2021, and join us on the journey.
Right on. Last thing, you can go to our Instagram page at 33 Days Film. Oops, that's the wrong one. At 33 Days Film is the name, the Instagram handle, and our social media manager, Carrie, is putting stuff up there. We're really grateful for Carrie in Michigan, who's doing our social media stuff, who believes in the film as well. Go check it out, follow the page, share it. You'll see little snippets and pictures and all cool sorts of history and archival City Impact stuff that's going up there coming up soon. All right, everybody, happy holidays to you all. We'll be back again next Friday and do another update and talk soon. Thanks, Ed. Bye.
See you guys.